Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. So they released a new promo about a day or two ago, as well as some new promo images as well for the mid-season premiere, or episode 10 of The Flash Season 4, otherwise entitled The Trial of the Flash. But yeah, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that new promo.
My name is Barry Allen, and I'm an innocent man. I'm being framed for something that I didn't do.
He stood among us, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
You're gonna plant evidence?
It's the right thing to do, Ralph. Just open the door, I'll do the rest.
If I testify, I have to lie. I become exactly who they think I am.
Then don't lie. Tell everyone you're the Flash.
If everyone knew my secret, we would never be able to stop running.
The Flash returns with an all-new episode Tuesday, January 16th on the CW.
So that trailer or promo was very similar to what we had initially a few weeks back from the first promo for this mid-season premiere, obviously following the mid-season finale. We will, however, just jump into all the new stuff before jumping into some other points regarding the early parts of this second half of The Flash Season 4, as well as those promo images, as I said before. But of course, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you're looking forward to the most from this episode, as well as being sure to let me know if I have missed out on anything from the trailer that you saw as, any importance. As well as being sure to leave a like on the video to show your support and subscribing to the channel if you are new. So the first thing I want to really focus in on from this new trailer is the point in it where we see Joe wanting to plant evidence. Now Ralph seems quite surprised by this, almost shocked, and is probably going to try and talk Joe out of doing so. It is a very important thing to remember that Ralph planting evidence is what led to him being exposed by Barry and essentially ruining his career. If this is what happens, then this is excellent character development and shows the change in Ralph. I have personally enjoyed the hell out of Ralph's addition this season, and this is one of the reasons why. He actually feels like a proper character who has a journey. He's not some cliche side character that comes in, has a role and then leaves. He actually has a story. We are following it, and I can't wait to see more of it. I have heard and seen a lot of criticism towards the character, and I just feel those that are whining and bashing the character don't understand a good character when it is laid out in front of them. Which I do find pretty disappointing, because if people are complaining about it on social media, the writers might write him out of the show. So hopefully everyone can come around, start appreciating the Ralph character, and he will be around for much longer than just season 4 of The Flash. In regards to what evidence Joe is actually planting, it looks to be fabric or clothing of some type, like a small segment of possibly a piece of the Flash suit. Or it could also just possibly be like flesh, like human skin and muscle and blood and stuff, but that's a bit weird if that's the case. I have no idea who they could be trying to pin it on. Possibly Clifford DeVoe's wife, Marlize, I think her name is. That could be who they try and pin it on, due to the fact that it probably was her that planted the body, while DeVoe, in his new body of Dominic, was at the Christmas party that Barry was at before going home. Obviously, he went home due to their security system going off. This was obviously intentional, as the police arrived moments after this. Seeing DeVoe was at the party, it must have been the mechanic that set off this alarm intentionally. But let me know what you think is in that little bag Joe has, and who do you think they're trying to pin the murder on and get Barry out of trouble with. We then see a shot of a bunch of people passed out randomly in the middle of a street, which is pretty odd. Now there are a couple of options as to what the hell is going on here. The first is that it has to do with another bus metahuman, so another one. But I don't think they would use one of the bus metas in an episode like this, where the heavy focus will be on Barry and his court case, as well as the rest of Team Flash, trying to figure out how to help him out of this difficult situation. What the most likely option looks to be is that this is an example of what DeVoe can do in the body of Dominic and his power set. Dominic has the ability of telepathy, which is basically the ability to read minds, so it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to make it that in DeVoe's hands, he would be able to possibly extend and expand these powers and maybe tinker with people through that ability. Such as, making them pass out or even controlling them to some extent, which would be pretty insane and a bit overpowered, to be completely honest. But let me know what you think of all of that in the comments section down below, like what the hell do you think is going on here? Now, one of the big questions going into this episode has been around Barry's time in the courtroom and how he will possibly get out of the charge of Clifford DeVoe's murder. And as we have seen in the promo, Cecile does bring up the option to Barry revealing to the judge and jury that he is in fact the Flash. Now this is of course a possible option to possibly get out of the murder of DeVoe, as the judge and jury would be thinking to themselves, why the hell would the Flash kill someone? Especially this professor, like, who's Clifford DeVoe? Like, why would the Flash feel him or see him as a threat and kill him? But what I think could go down is that Barry doesn't admit and come clean that he is the Flash, but he, and with the help of Team Flash, actually prove that the Flash murdered Clifford DeVoe and not Barry. No one in that room knows that Barry Allen is the Flash, apart from, Team Flash and Cecile. So it would make 100% sense that they would pin this murder on a guy that no one would be able to trace down. Also, in that shot of Joe and Ralph beforehand in the trailer, the bag that Joe has, which is obviously the bag holding the evidence that they want to plant, does look like it contains red fabric, as I said before, similar to that of the Flash's suit. So that theory does sort of sound a bit crazy, but I do believe that is what could possibly be going down in this episode. Now, I don't know if anyone else has thought up that theory or not, or if I've just come up with it in this video. If that's the case, that's pretty cool. But this also does relate back to the shot or moment in the trailer of Captain Singh and the other cops pointing their guns at the Flash. This is most likely after the Flash is found to be guilty and not Barry. So Barry is found to be innocent. Yay, awesome. But the Flash is found to be guilty of the murder of Clifford DeVoe. That's not good. So this could push on a massive story, not a massive story, but another story for a couple of more episodes, or possibly till the end of the season, or close to the end of the season, where the Flash is seen as a villain and a wanted murderer. That could be what's happening, but he's still running around, but people are scared of him. They're not praising him. They're sort of scared of him because he's been charged with the murder of this professor. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm pretty sure I might actually be right about this. It does sound like a story that they would go with, and it seems like a logical option, as to how they could get Barry out of this charge for the murder of Clifford DeVoe. But now let's quickly go over the promo images that came out for this episode over the past couple of days, just after the trailer came out. The first couple are of the prosecutor going up against Barry, who is Anton Slater, and is actually played by Mark Valley, who actually played Christopher Chance, aka the Human Target, in the TV series from a couple of years back, The Human Target. Now, if you watch Arrow, you would know that name, The Human Target, because he appeared last season on Arrow to help Oliver out with a sticky situation. Obviously, this was a different interpretation, Mark Valley also played the voice of Superman in the Dark Knight Returns animated film, so I'm sure a lot of you have watched that. He was the voice of Superman and Clark Kent in those movies. Anton Slater was actually the prosecutor against Barry Allen in the Trial of the Flash storyline from the comics, so they're actually using comic-appropriate characters in the show, and also Cecile was also Barry's defense in the comics as well. So there are heavy similarities between the two takes on the story, because obviously in the comics it was Reverse Flash that was the killed villain, and Barry actually did kill him in that case. So they have to have similarities in some areas because there's not going to be similarities in other areas. We then have a bunch of shots of Barry in the courtroom with Cecile by his side, and then Joe, Iris, as well as Caitlin in the background. I'm guessing Cisco, Harry, and Ralph are out protecting Central City while all of this is going on, or maybe they're trying to help with the whole planting of the evidence that the Flash did this murder and not Barry. You do also see some shots of Barry and photographers going, for pictures of him. Obviously, this would be a pretty big story and, big media thing for Central City. One of the police force's own, charged with the murder of what the media would think is just some ordinary guy in the form of Clifford DeVoe. Now, speaking of Clifford DeVoe, we also see his wife on the stand. Now, I'm interested to see what role she plays in this episode and whether any of the members of Team Flash have any interactions with her where we might see her make like a smug remark or possibly even just smile at them. I'm expecting that, and it's actually something I sort of want to see as well. She's, played herself out to be pretty manipulating so far in the season, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see more of that in this episode and the episodes to follow. Now, I'm not too sure if we'll see Dominic, aka DeVoe, in his new body in this episode, but seeing we had that shot of those people passed out in the street earlier, I think we might see him for a bit in this episode if he's, connected to that. So you would have to think we see him for a tiny bit, but a lot of this episode should be in the courtroom, and maybe Marley's or the mechanic or DeVoe's wife will be the main, quote-unquote villain we see in this episode. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on the video to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below what are your different opinions on the things I've said in this video. What are you looking forward to most in this episode? And do you agree with my theory about them planting evidence to make it look like the Flash killed him to get Barry out of this murder charge? I think it's what's going to happen because it plays out, or it sets up an interesting story for later on in the season, or for the rest of the season, might I say, where the Flash is the villain and the Flash isn't as loved by Central City as he was before. So I think they might do that, but let me know in the comments if you agree with me or if you think it's the stupidest theory ever, because I'm sure someone does think that. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.